Hello student, welcome to second class of the lecture series of occupational health nursing. In last class we have studied about occupational health and occupational health nursing. You can also watch that video and you will get the link in description box of this video. Today we will discuss occupational disease. There are many occupational diseases. The most important occupational disease is pneumoconiosis. What is pneumoconiosis? It is a disease of lung due to inhalation of dust, characterized by inflammation, coughing, and fibrosis. The hazardous effect of dust on the lungs depend upon chemical composition of the dust, fineness of the dust, concentration of dust in the air, period of exposure, and health status of the person who is exposed to this dust. Causes of pneumoconiosis. Pneumoconiosis is caused by workplace exposure to airborne dust that are breathed into the lung. Exposure to asbestos, silica, and coal dust are the most common cause of pneumoconiosis. Now we come to the types of pneumoconiosis. There are many types of pneumoconiosis and you may get any one of them in your examination as short note. What are these? These are silicosis, anthracosis, biocinosis, bagasosis, asbestosis, and farmer's lung. Now we will discuss them one by one. First is silicosis. Silicosis is a form of occupational lung disease caused by inflammation of crystalline silica dust. It is marked by inflammation and scarring in the form of nodular lesion in the upper lobe of the lung. You can see here, this is silicosis and this is the severe form of silicosis. There are three types of silicosis. Acute symptoms happen in few weeks up to 2 years after exposure to large amount of silica. Chronic problem may not show up until decades after you are exposed to low or moderate amount of silica. It is the most common type of silicosis. Symptoms may be mild at first and then slowly worsen. Accelerated silicosis. You will notice the signs about 5 to 10 years after heavy exposure to the silica. They will worsen quickly. There is no effective treatment for silicosis. Only preventive measures should be applied to prevent it. Second is anthracosis. Anthracosis is also known as black lung because in the picture it looks like this. It is also known as bioline, a asymptomatic or milder type of pneumoconiosis caused by accumulation of carbon in the lungs due to repeated exposure to air pollution or inhalation of smoke and coal dust particles. Common signs are troubled breathing, shortness of breath, feeling like you are not getting enough air, decreased ability to exercise, a cough that won't go away. There is no effective treatment for anthracosis. Preventive measures should be applied to prevent it. Next is biocinosis. Biocinosis is a rare lung disease and caused by inhaling the hemp, flax or cotton particles, and sometimes it is also known as brown lung. You can see here, this is the picture of brown lung disease. Biocinosis is an occupational disease that primarily affects workers in cotton processing industries. Patients with biocinosis usually have difficulty with cough, feeling of chest tightness. Some develop Monday fever. What is the meaning of Monday fever? When they are exposed to dust as they return to work after a break, the symptom improves over the course of the week and usually causes no long-term effect if exposure is stopped. There is no effective treatment of biocinosis. Only preventive measures should be applied to prevent. Next disease is Bagasosis. Bagasosis belongs to a group of respiratory conditions classified as interstitial lung disease and hypersensitivity pneumonitis. A disease showed that 11 out of 21 Bagas shredding workers developed the disease over 15 months. There is no role for drug in the management of Bagasosis, being an occupational hypersensitivity pneumonitis resulting from exposure to bagasse dust. Avoiding the dust is usually all that is required to treat the condition. Next is asbestosis, a lung disease resulting from inhalation of asbestos particle marked by severe fibrosis and high risk mesothelioma. Mesothelioma is a cancer of pleura. It may develop later on. The effects of long-term exposure of asbestos typically don't show up until 10 to 40 years after initial exposure. Symptoms can vary in severity. The symptoms may include shortness of breath, persistent dry cough, loss of appetite, fingertips and toe appear wider and rounded than normal, like clubbing fingers you can see here. This is an example of clubbing of fingers in this picture. Chest tightness and pain. Reducing exposure to asbestos is best prevention against asbestosis. Next is farmer's lung. Farmer's lung is a hypersensitivity pneumonitis induced by inhalation of biological dust coming from the hay dust or mold, spores, or any other agriculture products. Farmer's lung can be controlled but cannot be cured. In acute cases, symptoms can be treated with bed rest and oxygen therapy. Medication can be used to control symptoms in chronic cases. However, this can be dangerous because damage to the lung may continue without a victim's awareness. This was all about pneumoconiosis. Second important occupational disease is lead poisoning. Lead is very heavy, highly toxic metal and is very strong poison. Lead poisoning is a serious and sometimes fatal condition. It occurs when lead build up in the body. Lead is found in lead-based paints, including paint on the walls and old houses, on toys, art supplies, contaminated dust, and gasoline products. Lead poisoning usually occur over a period of months or years. It can cause severe mental and physical impairment. Young children are most vulnerable. Children get lead in their bodies by putting the lead containing objects in their mouth, touching the lead, and then putting their finger in the mouth may also poison them. Lead is more harmful to children because their brain and nerve system are still developing. Lead poisoning can be treated, but any damage cannot be reversed. Signs of lead exposure includes abdominal pain, abdominal cramps, aggressive behavior, constipation, sleep problems, headaches, irritability, loss of developmental skill in children, loss of appetite, fatigue, high blood pressure, etc. How the lead poisoning is treated. The first step in treatment is to locate and remove the source of lead. Keep children away from the source. If it cannot be removed, it should be sealed. Call your local health department for information on how to remove lead. They can also help to reduce likelihood of lead exposure. In more severe cases, a procedure known as chelation therapy can be used. This treatment binds the lead that has accumulated in your body, and this lead is then excreted in your urine. Next is occupational cancer. Occupational cancer is the cancer that is caused wholly or partially by exposure to carcinogens at work or in industries. Occupational exposure to chemical, dust, radiation, certain industrial process have been tied to occupational cancer. Exposure to cancer causing chemicals may cause mutations that allow cell to grow out of control, which causes cancer. Carcinogen is the work in the workplace may include chemicals like anilines, chromates, dinitrile toluenes, arsenic, inorganic arsenic compounds, beryllium and beryllium compounds, cadmium compounds, and nickel compounds. Next important disease is accidents and injuries. There are hundreds and thousands of accidents, many of them serious in nature, are found in workplace every year. Some of them may include slips, trips or falls, muscle strain, being hit by falling objects, repetitive strain injury, crashes and collisions, cuts and lacerations, inhaling toxic fumes, and exposure to loud noise. Dear students, this is the second class of occupational health topic. We will again come to this topic in next lecture, and that will include the preventive and measures and health promotion activities for industrial